Hello, and welcome back to Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil. This month marks the 20th anniversary of the release of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, the game that introduced many of us to Tamriel, and more specifically, the province of Cyrodiil. To commemorate this milestone, we've decided to give you an in-depth look at how our 4th era Cyrodiil compares to the original version in Oblivion. For those who are unfamiliar with our project, we're creating a full-size version of Cyrodiil set 200 years after Oblivion in the 4th era, the time of Skyrim. This means that you'll be able to explore both Skyrim and Cyrodiil in one connected experience. Let's begin our look into some of the more notable changes that we've made to the Imperial Province. While all the cities of Cyrodiil have been changed to reflect what's happened across the province in the last 200 years, two cities in particular have seen greater design changes compared to Oblivion: Kvatch and Leowyn. Oblivion players will remember Kvatch as a smoking ruin, as it was destroyed during the Oblivion crisis. This gave us more freedom when designing the city. In our timeline, it was rebuilt 13 years after its destruction, but the city still bears the scars from that time. We'll now cast our eyes south to the city of Leowyn. The city is now split into 3 sections straddling the Niben, bringing it closer to Bethesda's original vision as seen in their concept art. As well as evolving Cyrodiil's major cities, we've expanded some of the smaller settlements that were underrepresented or cut from Oblivion. We'll start with a town that was little more than a ruined fort in Oblivion, Such. In our 4th era Cyrodiil, it has been rebuilt into a military settlement. Sancre Tor, another mere ruin in the 3rd era, is now more than just a single tomb. It has been almost completely excavated and fortified by Titus Mede I in an effort to legitimize his rule. Many will remember that in Oblivion, the eastern portion of the map was a largely empty, uninhabited landscape. We've changed this, which can be seen most clearly in the faded resort town of Mir Korup, nestled in the Valus Mountains. Though the town was not in Oblivion, it is featured in Elder Scrolls lore. Cultural immersion has been a central pillar of our 4th era Cyrodiil. We've fleshed out the core of Imperial culture and made it far more visible as you explore the world. The 3 main subcultures you'll encounter are the Nibonese in the east, the Colovians in the west, and the Heartlanders in the Imperial Isles. We'll start with the Nibonese, who worship a wider variety of gods and spirits and are more culturally fluid than the other subcultures of Cyrodiil. For example, in Shadenhall, Dunmeri influences are more apparent. As you get to know the Nibonese people, you'll notice their clothing and architecture is much more vibrant and expressive than the other Cyrodiil subcultures. In the west, you'll find the Colovians, who present a strong contrast to the Nibonese. They are hardy folk who value tradition and martial prowess. The architecture in their cities contrasts the colours of the east, featuring sturdy structures of unadorned stone and plaster. Colovian clothing emphasizes function over fashion, and is characterized by its use of muted color tones. While the cultures of the East and West have moved apart since Oblivion, the Heartlander culture of the Imperial City harkens back to some of the grandeur that the Empire has lost in the past 200 years. Many of you will remember the sense of wonder we all felt, stepping out of the Imperial City sewers and onto the shores of Lake Rumer. We want you to relive this feeling as you explore our 4th era Cyrodiil. To achieve this, we've used Oblivion's landscape as a foundation to build on, and we've made a series of updates across the map that make it feel like a natural continuation of that time. In addition, our scaling is in line with that of Skyrim, which means that our Cyrodiil is 1.5 times bigger than in Oblivion. But size isn't everything. While Oblivion had some unique areas, it also used a lot of procedural generation that made some areas feel monotonous. We've changed this, meaning every biome now feels like its own world, with unique landscapes that flow naturally. That means that in some areas we've doubled down on Bethesda's original vision for Oblivion, while other areas may look drastically different to how you remember them. While there's a lot to discover on the surface of Cyrodiil, there's also much to be found below ground. We've aimed to keep our dungeons far more diverse and handcrafted than in Oblivion, making each dungeon a new experience. Our dungeon tilesets improve on and add to those of Oblivion, which means the dungeon layouts are now much more varied. We've even added entirely new tilesets throughout the province. Gameplay elements within dungeons have also been overhauled, so you'll find new puzzles and challenges, as well as rich environmental storytelling for the astute adventurer. Finishing a dungeon in Oblivion often meant a frustrating trip back through the whole dungeon to get out again. In our Cyrodiil, we've brought our dungeons more in line with Skyrim, meaning that, where appropriate, each boss room features a quick exit route back to the surface. We've also made significant changes to enemy types and bosses. Each boss now feels like a fresh, challenging experience that will demand more preparation and care from the player to overcome. As for smaller enemies, the cultural diversity we previously mentioned affects them too, as we have multiple factions across Colovia and Nibene for you to face, each with their own cultural identity and backstory. As you explore Cyrodiil, you'll experience a wealth of new stories, and meet many new characters. Our questlines mirror the variety of a mainline Elder Scrolls game, with both main and faction questlines for every playstyle. Of course, when you're not busy deciding the fate of the world, you'll find a wealth of new side quests that will bring you closer to the lives of the people of Cyrodiil. We hope you've enjoyed this look at how Cyrodiil has evolved in the years since Oblivion, and we can't wait for you to explore this new, revitalized Imperial province. Keep in mind that these are just some of the major differences that separate our rendition of the province from Oblivion. If you want to find out more about our project, join our Discord server for regular updates, and follow our monthly newsletter for more information from the team. If following us is not enough for you, we welcome those who wish to join our project and help us bring Cyrodiil to life. If you currently lack the skills, you can learn about disciplines like 3D art, dungeon design, writing, and many more in the Arcane University. You can find links to our application form and the Arcane University in the description. Thank you for watching. We can't wait to share more of what we have in store for you next time.